How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the DLC that was released rather recently for Stronghold HD on Steam. So as you might be aware, we're currently looking at the DLC on the game page right here in Steam, and if you click Find More in Store, here is the rundown on it. It was released on July 7th as part of some sort of United States patriotic celebration kind of fun little thing, and I guess ultimately it beats Ubisoft and what they did for the 4th of July in Watch Dogs 2, right? So if you haven't heard that story, they basically put in some really terrible sound effects that sounded like fireworks, and they would play constantly during the nighttime of the game, and players couldn't turn them off. So that was not a really big hit with a lot of players, but that is not the case here with the USA campaign skin for Stronghold HD. What it does, simply, is it changes the map skin for the campaign map to one of the United States instead of Great Britain. Yeah, and then they have like a review, a fictitious review, and about this content. It says, revisit the original Stronghold with this cosmetic DLC. It's 1492, and the wolf has somehow both lived for several hundred years and made it to the land of opportunity. Medieval England can wait, because it's up to you to journey west to make America great again. The USA campaign map skin DLC changes the in-game single-player campaign from medieval England to the United States, allowing you to replay the original castle sim as if you were somehow driving the wolf out of the USA. While this DLC changes nothing about the missions themselves, that shouldn't take away from the pride one can and should take from reclaiming the colonies. Please note, this is a free DLC released to celebrate Independence Day 2017. Happy 4th. So as you can see, right there are the intentions laid out. And if we take a look here at the reviews, they're pretty positive. Like, some of them anticipate more maps being added, presumably through a Steam Workshop, and others talk about how is it that the game doesn't have more DLC. So this is sort of the question that I've been pondering. Would it be a bad thing if Firefly, let's say, responsibly released additional DLC for Stronghold HD and Stronghold Crusader HD? Because the thing is, there are quite a few players out there who want a new two-dimensional Stronghold game, right? I don't necessarily believe there is a market currently, like a mainstream market for additional 2D Stronghold games. I could be wrong about that. So how about if Firefly instead directed some time and effort towards making more content for these older games? And I think there is a great precedent for this. If we go ahead and take a look at Age of Empires, that was a game that, or Age of Empires 2 specifically, that was a game that Microsoft has sort of resurrected from the dead, and it is actually still in the Steam Top 100 most played games, right, at the moment. So if Firefly could do something like that with especially Stronghold Crusader, because there's a very dedicated fan base for that game. But even the original Stronghold HD, just introduce perhaps different skirmish enemies that you could add to the game with different castle designs. There was all kinds of stuff. Some of the new units that were introduced in the later games, I think there is some great potential there to actually expand the game, much like what Microsoft did with Age of Empires 2 HD. And if it is done in a meaningful way, you take a look at the additional DLCs for Age of Empires 2, and a lot of players who liked Age of Empires 2 received them quite positively. So I'm just thinking, would you, dear Stronghold player, would you be against Firefly introducing more DLC for games like Stronghold HD and Stronghold Crusader HD, providing that they were up to snuff, up to quality, they weren't just rushed out the door? Because I think I would be. I really do. Some people might think it breaks up the game, because it's also available on GOG.com. But even there, I'm pretty sure you can also release DLC on GOG, so you could mirror it over there, and then you have the sort of diehard veterans. They're getting new Stronghold content for the games that they love, the style of games that they love, with with the two-dimensional aspect ratio, or the two-dimensional aspect, I guess. It's not really a ratio. And then for the other players, the more casual players, they actually can look forward to new three-dimensional Stronghold titles. So I think that would be a positive thing, but I would be interested to know what is your opinion on it. And by the way, we're going to jump over into Stronghold HD, and I'm going to show you what the map actually looks like in-game. So here we are in-game, and if you want to see the map in action, we can start off by simply selecting the first mission, Act 1, The Fallen Kingdom. And as you can see, right here is the map, all laid out. The United States, you have the lands of the pig over here and here, some of the wolf's lands, there's neutral land up there, pretty much the standard stuff. And then that's basically all it does, right? So you would just see that instead of the Great Britain map or the UK map or the United Kingdom map or the map of England. Honestly, England, you need to figure out what the hell your country is called at this point. I'm a bit disappointed because there's like this whole naming scheme where you have 5 different names for your country and nobody over here in the States can figure out what to call you anymore. One other thing I wanted to show you was how to install the DLC, in case you're not familiar with how DLC in Steam works. And when I say DLC in Steam works, I don't mean the developer kit for Steam, which is also called Steamworks. No, I mean how DLC works. Okay, so here we went ahead, opened up the properties for Stronghold HD, and then you can go over here to DLC. If you want it installed in the game, you just click the little install checkbox right here, and if you don't want it in your game anymore, click the box again, and it will download and delete it, basically, like that. And then that's how you can, toggle it on and off. There's no way to actually do that while you're in game. Which, if there was more DLC, I think it would be desirable to allow you to toggle it in game, but whatever. I don't think that's a very critical point. That covers the new DLC for Stronghold HD, and it's something that I would like to personally see more of. I think it would fill a gap, a much needed gap currently in the offering for Stronghold, like to keep it up to date, to keep it contemporary, right? In addition to the workshop, right? So, like free stuff, some paid stuff, why not? If people are willing to, if it's decent quality, I am all on board with it, but I'd like to know, are you on board with it? Those are my thoughts on it. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time.